Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today is my predictions on the NHL 2021 Stanley Cup Playoffs, baby. As this is going to be a fun one, as we're going to be making a little bit of a bracket for, of course, the bracket challenge, which I am myself in a couple of leagues. And if you guys like to join them and compete against me, the links will be down in the description below for the Steel Flyers League. And not just that, check out the Off the Wall Hockey League as well and go compete against him, which I will be as well. And hopefully I'll be number one, which most likely will not happen for myself because I absolutely suck at predicting hockey. And when it comes to the playoffs, like this year, it is going to be even harder to predict what will happen in this playoff. So instead of me babbling, let's get right into it. Now, if you guys disagree with one of my opinions, or if I am not picking your team, don't get angry. It is just my opinion. You guys can make whatever bracket you want to make and compete against me and, maybe prove me wrong and be like, yo, Peyton, see, the Toronto Maple Leafs were going to win here. Told you so. You guys can do stuff like that. So if you want to do the prove me stuff, go straight ahead. I love it. I absolutely love a little bit of a competition, especially in the community of my channel. So go check out the Steel Flyers League and the Off the Wall Hockey and compete against me, and I'll most likely will be last. So let's get right into it. As you guys see here, I was actually amazed, and same with the Off the Wall Hockey. I was watching his video of how amazed they kind of changed up how the layout goes, and they haven't changed it for years, but we get to see something new, which is pretty nice. So we're gonna start off with the North Division like usual. It's my league. It's where my favorite team is in the Edmonton Oilers. So I want to start off there. The Toronto Maple Leafs versus the Montreal Canadiens. This is gonna be a pretty fun series to watch, but I think this one is gonna be going towards the Toronto Maple Leafs right away. I don't even think the Montreal Canadiens have a chance the way that they've been playing over the last couple games, and I don't think Carey Price will be enough for this team to get past that hump over the Toronto Maple Leafs. Even bringing in Brendan Gallagher back in the lineup, I just don't feel will be enough to get over the Toronto Maple Leafs. And I feel like this will be a pancake of a series. I feel like this will be 5 games for the Toronto Maple Leafs. I feel like they're ready to roll, and they look like it nearing the end of the season. They were right on a hot streak, and I do believe with the pickups that they did get in Foligno and having Thornton on the team and having some of that veteran leadership, the age might come back to bite them later on in the series once they get a little tired. But I think with those leadership guys helping Matthews, helping Tavares, helping Nylander, helping Marner will be enough to maybe even make this team, the champions of North. I don't think this team is a Stanley Cup winning team, but we'll get into that a little bit later on. But I do believe this team is going to be going very far in the playoffs, and they have to. It is a big need for the Toronto Maple Leafs to go very far in this playoffs because of the amount of stuff Dubas did for this team this year to make it better, and we'll have to see how it all ends up. The biggest question that they're going to have is their goaltending going into, the Canadiens, maybe going into against either the Oilers or the Winnipeg Jets, which we'll get into now, which I do believe the Edmonton Oilers are going to win in 6 games. I think it's going to be a tough series, even though, yes, the Winnipeg Jets had a kind of a rough way to end off their season. I think it was 2-8, and plus they have not done very good against the Edmonton Oilers. They're 2-7 on the season during the season, but I do believe the Winnipeg Jets will be able to pull away with 2 victories in this series. I do believe that they're going to be pushing Edmonton a little bit. Winnipeg has done it before. They're a very tough, playoff team. We've seen it before. The only thing that's going to have against them is their defense. Their defense is not very strong when it's compared to the Edmonton Oilers. And I do believe the Edmonton Oilers, especially with how red hot they've been, that they'll be able to get past the Winnipeg Jets and move on to the second round against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now we'll move on to the East Division between the Pittsburgh Penguins and the New York Islanders. This one I do believe will go to the Pittsburgh Penguins. They've been absolutely amazing over the New York Islanders this season, going 6-2. And I do believe this one will be 6 games as well between the Pittsburgh Penguins and the New York Islanders. And I know why am I doubting the New York Islanders right off the get-go, and it's a hard choice because the New York Islanders went to the conference finals last year. They have a great coach in Barry Trotz, and I mean this team could pull off some miracle and totally be in that the second round and beating up the Pittsburgh Penguins. And also the Pittsburgh Penguins haven't won a game since a playoff series since 2018. So this is a big one for the Penguins, I feel this is one that they need to win if they want to go for it, right? If they want to win another cup with Crosby and Malkin, the time is now, and especially with the way that Crosby's been playing, and especially the way that Malkin's been playing since he's been back in the lineup, I just had that, that feeling in the back of the head that the Pittsburgh Penguins are going to be able to pull away with a big win over the Islanders. And then next up, Washington versus Boston, which I picked Boston to win this series in 7 games. I feel like this one's going to be an ever so tight series. Both of these teams were practically dead even throughout the season. Washington was 4-4 against the Boston Bruins all season long. And, both of them have played very well, but I think the Boston Bruins just have a better edge with Taylor Hall and Mike Riley on the team. I just feel like they got such a greater edge over the Washington Capitals, and I feel like Boston will definitely be moving on in the second round to go up against the Pittsburgh Penguins. I just feel like they're a better team, and they have a better goalie in Tuukka Rask. I just don't know if I could trust Vitek Vanecek or a Samsonov. I just don't know if I could trust one of those two goalies to carry the Washington Capitals past the Boston Bruins. But if the Washington Capitals are going to be the Boston Bruins, it's going to be by Ovechkin, can't speak English apparently, and Anthony Mantha and the rest of their big core players really stepping up and playing a big series against the Boston Bruins. All right, so let's get down to the West. This is going to be a fun one. Colorado versus the St. Louis Blues. Now, St. Louis has been pretty hot in their last 10 games. I think they've been 6-2-2 or something like that. They've been very well, but they are going up against the Colorado Avalanche, and I was actually surprised taking a look at Binnington. I think he's right now posting a .910 save percentage, which he's kind of made a comeback since, the beginning of the season where he was not looking very good when he got signed that contract. It seemed like they were just going up, and St. Louis seems like right now they're going up and they're just trending up, but I just, have that feeling the Colorado Avalanche are just going to be an unbeatable team come towards this playoffs. And I feel like they're going to be a very, very good team. They have some big expectations and they need to win this series against the St. Louis Blues. And I feel confident in them winning this series as well. I also do think that this series will be a quick one. And I know this is a pretty ballsy pick, but I do have that trust in the Colorado Avalanche in thinking that they will be able to do this in 5 games. I have that firm belief that they'll be able to shut down the St. Louis Blues. They haven't been so great defensively, and I think Colorado Avalanche will definitely take advantage of that. And Colorado right now have been 5-3 all season long against the St. Louis Blues. And some of those games they did play, Janssen or Devin Dubnyk against the St. Louis Blues. So if they're playing Philip Grubauer, I just have that pure confidence in the Colorado Avalanche winning. Now we'll head over to the Vegas Golden Knights Minnesota Wild game, our series, and I think honestly, I know you guys are going to be surprised about this, but I feel like the Minnesota Wild are going to take this series in 7 games. Now, you guys are probably like calling me nuts here for making this pick, but when you make it a bracket in the NHL, you have to pick the unexpected, and that is what I'm doing. The Minnesota Wild so far, let me take a look at my stats here. They so far have been 5-1-2 this year against the Vegas Golden Knights, which is just an absolute great record against the Golden Knights. And also, this is the only losing record the Golden Knights have had against any team in that division. This is a very, kind of unfortunate matchup for the Vegas Golden Knights because they did very well against the St. Louis Blues most of the season, and they probably didn't want to go up against the Minnesota Wild. Now, you're probably saying, yes, Vegas has that, that leadership to take it past the Minnesota Wild, and I do believe that as well, but I do believe in the underdogs this season and the Minnesota Wild and being able to enthrone the Vegas Golden Knights this year and putting them down in the first round, and that's the way I'm going to go. Now, let's head over to the Central Division as Carolina and Nashville straight up. I'm going to take Carolina. I think they're just a deadly team this year. The way that they play defensively, not so well offensively, but I think they'll be able to start picking it up once they step into the playoffs. And against Nashville, who is struggled off the get-go, they've been pretty well near the end, but they're not able to score. And I think that's going to be the biggest dent against them, especially going up against the Nashville Predators. So I'm going to take this series in a sweep in 4 games for the Carolina Hurricanes. I think this one will just be an absolute piece of cake. Florida, Tampa Bay, the Battle of Florida practically, and I think Florida is going to win this series. And I know you guys probably ask me, am I crazy? Kucherov and Stamkos are coming back in the lineup. It is going to be a pretty far-fetched, trip for Florida, but I really do believe it. I think they'll take it in 7. It's going to be a hard-fought series, which is why I'm probably going to pick Carolina over Florida going into that second round, because no matter who wins that series, they're most likely going to lose in the second round of Carolina just because because of the fact that Carolina has been so good against Florida, without a doubt, like stone cold solid against Florida all season long. I think going 6-0-2, 0 regulation losses against the Florida Panthers, which has just been absolutely nuts, which I'm just going to go right out the get-go and give this one to Carolina. I have firm belief that the Carolina Hurricanes will win the Central without a doubt, the way that their team is this year. The only thing that's against them is their goaltending, but if they do go up against Florida, I have that firm belief that they'll be able to really just sweep past the Florida Panthers in just a couple games. We'll head up to, and also to the note, Tampa Bay. I'm not writing off the Tampa Bay Lightning. I still think they could even beat the Florida Panthers in even less games with Kucherov and Stamkos, but I don't know how well they're going to do. I feel like the Florida Panthers are just going to be that another underdog team to really just play really well and play tight. Quenneville's a great coach, and I feel like I just have that confidence that, you know, that gut feeling, that wrenching gut feeling that the Florida Panthers are going to win. The East Division, I feel like the Boston Bruins are going to beat up the Pittsburgh Penguins. They have done fairly well against the Pittsburgh Penguins, going 5-3 this season. But I feel like this is a big year for Boston. They want that cup. Bergeron's getting older. Pasternak's just, you know, he's young. But they are getting older. Marchand and Bergeron are getting older. And they picked up Hall this year. They picked up Riley. This team wants to go deep. And I do believe the Boston Bruins will win the Eastern Division. On in the North, I feel like the Toronto Maple Leafs, like I was saying, will win the North. I feel like they're a very strong team, and I feel like they're better than the Edmonton Oilers, especially going 6-1-2 against the Edmonton Oilers this season. I just have that confidence in the Maple Leafs to make it in to the next round, and then or into the conference finals. And then to the West Division, I believe the Colorado Avalanche will be able to take it and move on to into the conference finals. So now we'll have the Colorado Avalanche going up against the Boston Bruins and Carolina versus the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, right off the get-go, I'm going to choose Colorado over Boston. I just don't feel like Boston's going to have that, you know, that offense, that defense to be able to stop Nate McKinnon and Mikko Rantanen and Gabriel Landeskog, Cale Makar, and Devin Taves. I feel like that Colorado Avalanche team will just be way too lethal to be able to be stopped, and I just had that feeling like, you know, the Colorado Avalanche are going to take that series without a doubt against the Boston Bruins. It's going to be a tough one without a doubt, but I have that confidence in Colorado, and I feel like Carolina's just going to beat up Toronto Maple Leafs. I feel like once Toronto gets past that North, I don't think they're going to be able to take care of Carolina. Carolina's way too powerful of a team, and especially defensively, they outbeat the Toronto Maple Leafs, and especially they're just the way that they are depth-wise for their offense, I think just outbeats Toronto in a million years. Now, who knows? Toronto could totally pull off an upset, but I just don't feel like that happening. And then for the Stanley Cup Finals, we got the Carolina Hurricanes going up against the Colorado Avalanche, and I have the Colorado Avalanche winning the Stanley Cup. And now we have the tiebreaker, and of course we enter the number of goals scored in the Stanley Cup Finals. So these are going to be, you know, if Colorado really does score in bunches, it's going to be a high-scoring game. But Carolina is not known as a high-scoring team. They're known as more of a defensive team. This could be easily a very defensive series where we only see, you know, 5, 6, 7 goals a game. I say we see about 6, 7 goals a game. So let me do my math because I am absolutely terrible. But I feel like this series is going to go very far. Like if these two teams definitely go up against each other, it's going to be like a good 6-game series, because I think the Carolina's goaltending will be the big downfall for them, especially going up against Colorado, who has Grubauer. Unless Grubauer gets injured, then most likely Colorado will lose if they do have Jonas Johansson or Devin Dubnyk in the back of the net. But if Grubauer is playing at his best, I could definitely see 6 to 7 goals being scored a game. So let me just do that quick math. All right, so 36 it is, and there we go, ladies and gentlemen. I have submitted my league, the Stanley Cup, or my bracket, I mean. The Colorado Avalanche are my Stanley Cup champions. That's who I have picked. I've been pretty confident in them since they begun the year. I was really looking forward to the Colorado Avalanche, and I still have that confidence right now that I think the Colorado Avalanche will win the Stanley Cup here in 2021. Tell me, guys, in the comment section below who you guys think will win the Stanley Cup, and also go check out my bracket and also go check out the leagues, the Steel Flyers League, and also the Off the Wall Hockey one. The link will be down in the description below. Come join the league, come and compete. It's a lot of fun. And if you haven't already, guys, make sure to slap that like button and hit that subscribe button as well. That is very much appreciated. But for right now, guys, I'm going to sign off here. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. See you guys all later. Adios. amigos.